What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to yet another episode here of Let It Ride. I'm your co-host, Brandon.
And I'm Cam. I don't know what number episode we're on. I think we're got to be 12, 13, somewhere in that range.
Lost track, but
that's a good sign, though.
Cam and I today we're gonna give you something a little bit non-traditional from us. Usually it's just us riffing. Today we're gonna show how you can get started in VeVe with a low investment, a low cost entry point for some new users. Of course, first create an account, do your whole VeVe on your Apple or Android device,
and then something just to interrupt really quick. They said in the AMA. So I remember when we first made VeVe, like we had our birthday off just by a day because we weren't sure. But they said make sure that all your account information matches your government ID, just in case your account gets disabled or whatever, for whatever reason. If it gets closed down, you got to verify it's your account and make sure your name is in there. I guess some people didn't have their name typed in their account first and last. Guess people are having issues with that. So make sure you type in all of your information that they ask and make sure that it's correct.
And depending on the time when you watch this, you may have a KYC notification. Make sure that's all accurate as well.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
So why don't you kick it off for us, Cam? We're gonna this category here is new investments, top investments, our best picks for new users that are, I don't know, I'd say around $1,000 or under $1,000, under $1,000. You're gonna come in, join in, and see what we can do.
All right. So
we'll go back and forth here, Cam.
One collectible at a time. Okay.
Yeah, let's go back and forth.
All right, so I think a great buy at the current point in time. I know which ones you might have, so I'm trying to go with which ones I might have. So Steve Rogers, Marvel Mighty Captain America is going for $130 right now, and I think that's a minimum 200 collectible when the market's right. And I think all the Mighties are really undervalued. I think I have a couple more on here as well. But Captain America is obviously, with Chris Evans, one of the biggest Avengers, next to Iron Man, probably. So I'd say he's probably relatively cheap. I can get a few of them with under $1,000. So,
and do you know how many editions are there for Cap?
I do not know how many editions there are. That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see really quick.
But I do agree and love that. First appearance, Steve Rogers is pretty awesome, especially now we're going to have in the MCU or wherever we're taking right now, we're going to have a bunch of new, I would say, Captain America variants. We're having Captain America right now. We have Sam Wilson taking up the mantle, and we have Captain Carter in the MCU currently in the What If series. So definitely good pick.
Not like my best one per se, but definitely one that's very affordable and I think is a home run for that price. So,
yeah.
On you though, what do you got?
Kind of staying on the Mighties here. I'm a little bit a higher price point, but I'm definitely going to attack here Green Goblin.
I knew you were
sitting around 700. Just 3,333 editions. Again, this is the first appearance of the Green Goblin in collectible form. If you know anything about Marvel Universe, you know anything about Spider-Man, Green Goblin is a top villain. Has many interactions with a lot of different heroes, and is just overall one of the most popular supervillains in the MCU in Marvel across all timelines.
Absolutely not. I mean, that's a home run for sure. Especially any ultra rare villain Mighties. Those are well over $1,000, and they all have been. I mean, Doom and Red Skull are their main two, but without doubt, you'll see Green Goblin creep over 1,000. What's he at right now?
700, 730.
Okay, nice.
So that's easily, I see at least that going stabilizing at about 1,200 in the near future, minimum.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And he looks good too. That's comic looks accurate cool. Green Goblin as well.
Yeah, purple hat.
Yeah. Now this is so. I'm going with the same set. Honestly, I think this is kind of, I guess I would call this one of my sleeper picks, but the common Spider-Man in that set, I think any Spider-Man content is a home run, right? And, you might worry that, it's not first appearance. And I kind of worry about that as well. But then I got thinking the zombie Spider-Man set blew up when the VeVe market blew up, the ultra rare and the common both. And my thought process was that, all right, it's part of a 5 collectible set, and the Mighties are seen as rather attainable. And I think with MCP, Master Collector Points, 5 collectible sets are going to be highly sought after. And I just think having a Spider-Man one will be sick. So I see, and he's at 160 right now, which I think is
crazy.
not too
That's
bad.
really low. Wow.
Yeah, and there are 15,000 of those. There are 15,000. Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, I'm convincing Deco out here. So I mean, it was right when I saw it, I was like, oh, that looks not bad. So
there also has been just kind of jumping off that. There's been a lot of I want to say anticipation, talk of there being something gamification with the Marvel Mighties in the future.
Yeah,
considering the fact that they've released so many of them.
Yeah, there are. How many are there? Do we know?
There's 4. I believe there's 4 or 5 series.
That's but
one of them actually there's 4 series, right? Including oh no, 5 actually, with the Eternals and Captain Carter.
Captain Carter's a set as well. Yeah.
Right. I mean, we could see something, maybe like the Marvel Strike Force app or something on your phone, like you can duel your Mighties, something along those lines, which would be pretty cool to see in the VeVe-verse.
Right.
But that's all obviously speculation at this point. I personally love the Mighties myself. I think they look awesome.
I think they're very cool. I'm looking at my list. I got one more Mighty that I think is a must buy, and then one that is like
give them to me. I want to see the Mighties right now while we're talking about
them. Sam Wilson, I think, is going to be a huge up and coming Mighty now that he's a new Captain America. He's $70 right now. That's first appearance as well. And then I just think it's really cheap, but the Thing is 47, and like they're going to remake the Fantastic Four, so I don't think you can go wrong with any of the Fantastic Four Mighties, especially if one of them is below $50.
Yeah.
So those are my 2, but I think Sam Wilson is a must buy at $70. He's just going to be the new franchise Captain America. So I think he's a must. All right, you take over for a couple. What do you got?
So I'm going to go with actually one of my recent pickups. I do have a my financial and fiscal responsibility to alert everyone here that I do own a Little Friends. The Little Friends is the gorilla. Let me get the proper terminology here, so I don't screw it up. But it is a gorilla. It is a Little Friends black and white. I picked up the rare edition. That is a lowest edition. It is a Comic Con exclusive. I'm sorry. Is it a Comic Con? I think it's Designer Con. I don't know.
I think it's DCon.
Yeah, it's a DCon. Yeah. The DCon exclusive Little Friends. There's actually 1,388 editions here. And there's 2 main reasons I kind of want to go after this, where I went after this and why I recommend it. First, it's sitting right now, it's below 400, right at the upper 390 level. First being, it's an ape. Apes do extremely well with NFTs, with anything apes together strong, as we all know. And 2, with the interoperability and everything coming with VeVe and being able to move things off of other exchanges, I think that the first exchanges to go, the first collectibles to go on other exchanges are going to be these independent creators. Seems to be a common theme among people that own these. I mean, when you go through licensors like Marvel and Disney, they're going to have to give the final approval. So you have to get a lot more checks down the ladder to eventually get those onto other platforms. Whereas with these individual creators, you're going to likely be able to talk to 1 or 2 people, get their approval, and be able to take those other places. So in terms of a short-term investment, for me, at least in the 1 to 2 year time frame, I'd say definitely a good pickup. And that's the rare. I believe the ultra rare is around 700, and the secret rare is untouchable at about 8K. So
are you in your VeVe vault right now? Do you want to show them what that looks like, just in case? Do you want to share screen? I'm trying to find it right now. Of course, it's so hard to find it on this vault when you don't have it. You know what I mean? You can't like search it.
It's called Little Friends.
Maybe you can you search it in the market? I wonder, can you do that?
So I do have this Little Friends here. You can see my screen here, Cam. And
we
got it. This one down here, the bottom tier Little Friends.
Nice.
So that's there. Ultra rare silver is at 730, and the gold one is at 6,000. So.
And you have which one?
This one down here at the bottom.
You have the rare. Okay.
The rare.
Nice.
So nice. I also think it looks pretty cool. It looks nice in the vault. So
Sweet. No, again, I agree 100%. Anything like I'm stuck. Like once interoperability starts, all mine are licensed under Disney Marvel. I think actually 100% of them are, so I won't be able to move right away. So I think you're definitely at an advantage at least having one of those that you can move in and just test the waters. Honestly, not saying you have to sell it right away, but at least you have the option. You can kind of see how they might price off. I
Yeah.
imagine they'll go up. So
I think it'll be cool too to be able to actually like, transfer it over into my MetaMask and whatnot and actually see what that looks like. And have I want to say a lower risk collectible, and the fact that in case anything goes wrong, I'm only losing little friends and not my C3PO.
right, yeah,
So it's a good basically a test transaction.
yeah. I love it. All right, give me at least one more because I did a couple of those.
All right, this is my last pick off the top of my head here, and I'm gonna go. Actually, no, I have two, so I can go. I'll go with Hawkgirl as of now. First appearance, Hawkgirl, DC. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of her. She's a very, very prominent DC character, super popular. Justice League. She's going for 260 gems at this point. At one point, she was going for around 700. So right now, she is absolutely in the dirt. And her counterpart, Wonder Woman, is, as everyone knows, is blown up. And Hawkgirl is obviously not as important as Wonder Woman, but definitely a cool looking statue and a very important character. So definitely not a bad pickup at around 250.
Nice. Yeah. No, are you thinking about buying one of those?
I am.
That's on it's on your wish list.
I am currently in the mental talks with myself about liquidating some comics here to grab her, but it's just tough selling because comics are down big right now.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to sell. It's a really tough time to sell off to buy right now, just because everything's really down. So and that's also one thing about this video. There's not too many things where it's bad to buy in VeVe right now. These are just more of our collectibles that we think will really grow long term in the future. But everything is kind of down, so there's not too many bad decisions you can make buying right now, at least. But in terms of long term, what's really going to go up? Some of the things we've talked about, we definitely see that happening for sure.
So let's hit us off with next two. I have one more, so you can close it out, and then I'll drop the last one, or vice versa.
All right, sure. So I think so this one has been on my mental wish list for a while, and my physical wish list as well. But Steamboat Willie, I've only been looking at the common just because the uncommon is, and the I think it's common, uncommon, ultra rare, I think is the set. But common's at 725, which is pretty low considering at that VeVe market peak, it was at 1.3K. So it's down 50%. And yes, Steamboat Willie's technically not the first appearance of Mickey on the blockchain, but David Yu himself, when he posted about this drop on Instagram, said it was a key drop. Also, just background on that, Steamboat Willie, that was the first time Mickey Mouse appeared on a screen, was in the Steamboat Willie special. So obviously some history behind it, but again, not the first appearance of Mickey on the blockchain, but it also looks good. The ultra rare is like moving and dancing and singing. So it's a cool drop in general. I just have the comment on there because that's at 725. I don't know how much the uncommon is, but I imagine that's around 1,000, and the ultra has got to be at least 2 or 3K if I were to guess. So the common for that one is on my list. And then this one's kind of a question mark, I think, due to the recency of this awesome drop. But first appearance, Wonder Woman is at 900. And before I'd say, oh, slam dunk. Now I still think it's a slam dunk, just not 100% a slam dunk, because this new Wonder Woman statue looks amazing. Like she's got the lasso, like she looks like a real human being rather than like the figurine kind of. So I think it's kind of similar to, the Captain America statue versus Captain America Mighty. Mighty is first appearance. It doesn't look necessarily as cool. But how high did you see Wonder Woman? Was she at 2K at one point?
Yeah, Wonder Woman was not 2K. She was at 1.7.
Okay, yeah. So she's down over 50%. So again, that's another one where Wonder Woman is actually, I read she's second most popular superhero in the country behind Spider-Man. So it goes Spider-Man and Wonder Woman.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where did you see that?
I'm trying to remember where I saw that. I remember I saw this really, really cool thing. I think I sent you the picture of like the world map, and it was like countries voted their favorite superhero. And I think I just saw it in that Twitter thread where it's like, oh, like second place in the United States, Wonder Woman, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
But yeah, I think that's where I saw. I'll have to find that. Well, maybe future video, maybe we'll throw that link in the description, because knowing what superheroes are the most popular in each country would definitely help for people to invest in those superheroes, you would think.
And that
So,
that leads me into my collectible. And
which
my
is
final one here is Ultraman.
okay.
I do
Yeah.
love Ultraman. Right now, are around a low 400.
Okay.
Sitting under 10K editions, and Ultraman is the number one superhero in the APAC market. I don't want to. I believe it was Japan. I read it's equivalent to the Superman of Japan.
Okay.
So just
that's a big
that
deal.
alone, I don't know. I don't know much of it other than it is the Superman of Japan, and sitting at 400 when we have a Superman now, probably where a Superman over well over 5K, I'm sure, or around 5K.
Yeah, probably around there. He dropped down obviously because this VeVe dip. But.
And we still right now don't even have native languages in the system. What do they call it?
Localization.
Localization. That's right.
Yeah.
So localization kicks in. We could see Ultraman. We could see a lot of these anime, the Peely Fantasy, all these newer drops that I'm not too familiar with. I'm sure Cam's not too familiar with either. We could see a big spike and a big grab for first appearance of these major characters, which would be cool.
Absolutely. And now, what rarity is Ultraman?
Ultraman, I believe, is a common.
Was he just a one collectible like set kind of? Was he like Captain Carter-ish, or were you just looking at the common specifically?
No, so Ultraman was dropped in a set like picture it as a mighty set.
Okay.
So
it's like the Captain America. I'm thinking more Captain America statues then, right?
No, so it was.
It wasn't just all Ultraman.
Wasn't just Ultraman,
with other characters.
Ultraman. Yeah, there's a bunch of different characters. Ultraman, then Ultraman Ace, then I believe the Edo is in that category as well.
Okay.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So those are kind of our sub 1,000. Do you have any that are over 1,000 but under 3-4K that you were kind of looking at?
Why don't we want to just recap here what we just said? Give me the ones you just said.
The ones I just said, so the ones we've talked about already.
Yeah, give me the ones that you brought up.
All right, so we brought up. So we started with the Mighties. We went with Steve Rogers, Sam Wilson. We did the Spider-Man sets. We had Common Spider-Man, Ultra Rare Green Goblin, and then I briefly brought up the Thing just because Fantastic Four coming to Marvel MCU. So those are kind of the Mighties. I brought up Wonder Woman and Steamboat Willie. Those were my kind of all sub 1,000 that I brought up. What did you get other than Ultraman?
So I had on there the Little Friends,
right
there. Little Friends. You mentioned Green Goblin and Hawkgirl.
Oh, right.
Going off that again, just lastly, anything that is that Comic-Con exclusive, not Comic-Con. I keep saying convention exclusive. So any of those decon drops that do have individual artists, I personally think are going to play very big moving forward. So I think any of those.
The idea is that all of the collectibles at some point will be interoperable, and you will be able to move them. But Disney's, Marvel's, they won't be right at first. So it's just, if you want to be able to move right away, then you might want to branch out and get a Little Friends or any of the decon drops. So
yeah, no one knows that, of course. It's just everyone's speculation. Better. I'm kind of been diversifying a little bit. I know Cam is long-term HODL Disney, so Disney.
That's my next topic. So that's kind of the next little collectibles that I kind of want to talk about for under 2-3K.
Once again, thank you all for joining yet another episode here of Let It Ride. If you want to follow our journey, please drop a like, subscribe, and follow Let It Ride. And as we go, hopefully, and see VeVe and NFTs become a major part of everyday life. See you guys in the next one, where we're going to talk about some mid-tier collectibles for people looking to invest around 2 to 2.5 thousand gems or dollars. Adios.